Alright, so this video here is going to be a demonstration of why we don't like to lubricate these locks. Okay, so I actually started to clean this lock before I figured out I will take a video. So it's not as bad as it was before I started doing this, but it's still pretty bad and it still could cause problems. So I'm going to show you what happens when we dial the combination. So we're going to dial it 20, 1, 2, we're going to come to 40, then we're going to come to 60. Okay, so as it stands now, the combination is dialed. There's no reason for this lock to not open, but I want you guys to keep an eye on this last wheel here. Okay, so watch as I turn this. You see how that last wheel turned? It's not supposed to do that. It's turning because there's grease in there between this drive cam and that last wheel that has caught some dirt, and it has dried over the years, and it's making them touch and catch where it's not supposed to. So now you'll see here, even though we dialed the right combination, it's not opening because that last wheel moved on us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lock off and we're going to clean it, and we're going to come back and we'll show you how it works after we've cleaned it all out. And I'm actually going to take you guys along with me on the cleaning process on what we do. So I might move you guys back a little bit so I can take this lock off. So the first thing we got to do is take out the key. So this key here should pop right out for us. This one's a little stiff, and it doesn't help that my pliers are kind of not very good. Let me find other pliers. Alright, I got better ones. Look at these guys. That's how they're good. So now we just grab this guy here, give it a little pull, and she comes right out. Okay, now we will take the dial. We'll hold this guy here, we'll take the dial and we'll spin it out. We'll have a look at that here. And look at this dial, how gnarly dirty that is. So we're going to clean all that up. That's pretty bad. So now the other thing to remember is that rarely things go wrong with these locks. So for that lock to do that, we're almost certain that it's been greased and there's grease in there causing some dirt buildup and causing those wheels to move together. So we're 99% sure that's what the problem is. So the lock should be free to come off now. So we'll just take off these screws here. And then we'll go onto the workbench, and then I'll set you guys up so you can watch me take this lock apart. The only part that's tricky on putting this back together is getting that spring for the fence. There's a little spring back here. If you can see, there's a piece of the spring. A little spring that's got to go in there, and that's a little tough. Okay, so we'll work our way to the workbench and then I'll come back. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this here. Sometimes the focus goes wonky on this phone here, I don't know why. So what we're going to do, the first thing is we're going to take this fence off here. So we do that just with a flathead screwdriver. And take you off here. We set that off to the side, make sure that spring doesn't go flying. There's a spring in here, and that's the part that I'm really not going to be able to show you guys on camera because it's very hard to get the camera in there to show you guys what to do, but it's pretty simple. When you take it off, you'll see where it has to go. There's a little bend here that goes inside this guy here, and then you just swing it around so that it ends up on the top of here. You'll just have to figure it out when you get it off because it's too hard to show there. So we'll take this guy off. So that's our drive cam. We'll try to get everything in the shot here. Okay, so there we go, everything there. Okay, How about if I do this? All right, so now what we do is little screwdriver. There's a little tiny retaining ring in here. This one's a little more tricky to get off than some of the other safes. Sorry if I'm going out of, I got it. So we just have to get a little tiny screwdriver here, work our way behind that little thing gently. Okay, I gotta kind of turn it a little bit here. Okay, there you go. I should be able to grab it. And again, I can't really demonstrate how to do this. You'll just have to sort of figure it out on your own. But by watching this video, you'll be able to see what we're dealing with here. And I'm already, look at this. There's not supposed to be any of this stuff in there. Like, this is supposed to be dry. So what am I getting here? We're getting grease or WD-40 or something. And it's supposed to be clean. So there's that little kind of washer thing there. So you just have to figure out how to get that off. It's not that hard to do. Now all of your wheels will come off, so we'll keep them in order. So I'm going to take this off camera a little bit here. Maybe I'll zoom out here. Let's do that there. Put you over here, you over here, you over here. So then we'll go this wheel here. Okay, take this other one off. You're going to have a keyed spacer. These are the things I keep telling you guys about. Don't lose these, or don't try to put a regular washer in there, because you see how they have this little nipple there? Why doesn't this phone want to work for me? The little nipples on the side lock in so that the wheels don't turn together. All right, we got that guy there, that guy there. We should have another keyed spacer here. Okay, see those little nipples? Those nipples, I'll show you where they line up here. Okay, and this guy here. Those little nipples line up on this wheel post, and you see where they go here, one on each side, so that they don't spin, and when the wheels turn, it keeps them apart but doesn't let them spin. All right, so now look at my fingers here. There's supposed to be nothing here. This is where our problem is going to be. So this is very simple. All we got to do is take some paper towels. Okay, so we've got paper towels, we've got regular brake cleaner. That's all you guys need. Don't need anything else. And we're going to check these flies to make sure they turn. Not bad. That's pretty good. I don't mind that at all. This guy here, that's even better than the first one there. Okay, and this one here, not bad at all. So these are okay. So the problem was some kind of dirt in here somewhere. So all we have to do is take a paper towel, okay, and spray this guy down on both sides. Okay, you can use a brush if you want, but you usually don't need to, because usually what people do is they just spray WD-40 inside and it collects dirt and dust on the outside. But if you look at these wheels here, they look pretty darn good. I like these. These are beautiful. So we just had a problem of a little bit of dirt catching somewhere. So we're just going to give everything a clean off here. That one wasn't too bad. Even these little rings, give them a cleaning just in case there's dirt or something on there. Look how much nicer that looks now. Much nicer. Go to the next wheel. Oh, actually, let's check this out here. Yeah, that's even better now. Okay, and you guys can, if you really want to, you can pull these out. But if they work and it's clean in there, you don't have to worry too much. So, oops, give this guy a spray here, both sides. That's all it takes. You don't have to use lubricant in these locks. If you don't know what you're doing, just leave it alone, because trust me, you will get locked out. It happens all the time. If you're lucky, what'll happen is the combinations will just be off a little bit. And somebody like me who knows how the locks work will be able to figure it out. So this guy I pulled off here was a nylon washer just for the back, and why it's stuck to here is another question, because it shouldn't, but something was sticky in there, like some kind of lubricant. All right, so now everybody should be clean. That's all it takes to clean this lock. Now we're going to give this post a little clean, because we saw how much grease was on those rings. Look at this blackness here. That should not be black. There's no reason for anything to be on there. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a picture of the back of a lock that says "Do not lubricate." And I'll show you guys at the end of the video that there. So that's all we have to do. That's all it takes to clean it. Now put everything back in the order that you took it out. And this guy goes here. Keyed spacer, I'm telling you guys, I'll tell you a million times, do not forget about these. Do not use a regular washer. They have to have these little nipples. I don't want to hear anything about you told me this or you told me that, because I didn't. Okay. Keyed spacer again with those nipples so that the washer gets locked into position. The wheels can turn separately. Okay. And this guy goes back here. I'm going to give this guy a quick cleaning. Alright. Look how nice that guy is now. That guy's perfect. And this guy, putting it on is a little tricky, because it's kind of a double, it's almost like a keychain. You got to kind of get one side on and then kind of work it down a little bit like a keychain. So once you get it caught, you just work it around with your finger, which is easier said than done. I don't have fingernails, which is part of my problem here. Okay, there we go. Now just work it around. Keychain, and that's all. That's it. Look how much cleaner that looks. Much nicer. Everybody moves separately now, and we're gonna put it back and we're gonna check. Hopefully that was the problem. There is a chance that the actual wheels are bent, which I doubt. I highly doubt it. The chances of that are so slim that I won't even entertain it. Okay. This is the one I'm telling you guys where I can't really show you on the camera. You just have to figure it out. The spring locks in. There's a little hole for this side of the spring. And it just wraps around the fence. And then you just bring it into position there. There we go. Oh, the one thing I will tell you is sometimes the spring gets caught in there, just like it did here. See that one part of the spring ended up at the bottom, so we have to make sure that it all stays inside of its little slot here, which is why I wasn't able to screw it in just now. So that's one thing I can tell you. and it's trying to come out again, but I caught it. There we go. Yeah, did I catch you? No, I didn't even catch you that time. There we go. Okay. This lock is really good. There's a lot of brass in this lock, and we like lots of brass in our locks. Just snug that guy down. You can put the blue thread locker if you want on there, but don't need to. So now we'll line you guys up. I'll give it a little test here. Where are you here? There we go. Everything looks good. Go back. I like it. I like it. Let's take a look at the dial here. This dial is not very good at all. So I'm a little skeptical about using the brake cleaner on here because of the paint. So I actually have some of this stuff here. This degreaser that we'll use. And don't forget to put your drive cam back on there too, before I forget. So we'll use some degreaser. This thing is horrible. I don't know what the heck kind of environment this guy was in, but this is horrible. I'll probably fast forward to this. You guys can figure out how to clean. Ooh, this is like oil or caked on grease. I wonder if somebody tried to grease the dial too. This is pretty bad. I have a brush, but they're all metal. Man. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video here and then we'll come back when I go to put this thing back together, because you guys don't need to see me try to clean this guy off, but I'm gonna get it clean though. Okay, so here's our final product. We cleaned off the spindle here, got all the gunk off of there. The dial's in pretty good shape. I don't want to scrub too much and get some of the numbering paint off, so we're just gonna leave it at that, but it's nice and smooth. There's nothing to get in the way anymore. We're going to put a dab of grease on here just to help this move nice, but never any WD-40 or grease or anything in this lock here. Trust me guys, never do that. So again, this is the stuff we used. I like it. It works pretty good. Okay, so we're going to go outside and I will cut the video here and we'll come back when we're outside. Alright, so we're back outside here. What we're going to do is put the lock back on, then put the spindle back in with the dial, and we will get this done. So I'm going to put a little bit of this blue thread locker onto these screws for the lock, just to keep them from backing out on their own. It's the blue thread locker, so it can actually be removed if you need to. The red stuff is the stuff that you don't want to use. The blue stuff is fine. So I'm just putting thread locker on the lock now, and I gotta get the screw into that hole there. Okay. Gonna put you back on here. Okay, that's one. And I like this paste because it's a lot more manageable than the liquid stuff. You just need a little bit like that, just a tiny little bit. We're not trying to keep the screws in there. We're just trying to keep them from backing out over time. That's all we're trying to do. Okay. Now we're not tightening the screws down all the way right now because sometimes the spindle needs to be set straight and sometimes the lock has to be tightened after we get the spindle straight. So again, just a little. That's actually even a bit too much, but it's okay. Okay. And you see, when you have the right screwdriver and the right screw, you can do this. Okay, so we've got that lock is just sitting in there. It's not very tight because we're going to get the spindle in there first. Get the dial screwed in before we decide on its final resting position. Okay, so that's pretty good there. So now we've got it a little tight and we're going to tighten down these screws because that's the position that the lock and the dial are happy together in. Okay, so now come back here and let's see if that's too tight. Where's my key? I don't remember. A little stiff there. I'm going to come back one more and see if that's where we were. No, we're going to come back here. Try vertical up. Seems to be the position she likes. Let's give that a check here. 20. Even on the outside of the lock, it's much better. 40 and 60. And now let's see if that third wheel moves at all. If it moves, we have to see what else is wrong. See how it didn't move at all? Let's do it again. 20, 1, 2, 40, 60. See how it didn't move? So we're good to go here. All it was a little bit of dirt caught. I hope that helps you guys realize why you don't lubricate your locks. Thanks for watching. Okay, last part of the video, I promise. I just wanted to show you guys how stable that last wheel is now compared to before. So if you watch here, see how it doesn't even try to move? That's what we want. We want that so that when we dial our combination, everybody stays where we tell them to stay and they don't move afterwards. So we go 20, 1, 2, 40, and we come to 60. And watch, nobody will move and everybody stays where they're told to stay. All right, thanks for watching, guys.